Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something immense, a story layered across millennia.
Absolutely. We're not just looking at one war. We're diving into the world of endiness, the setting for the Dragon campaign, and its entire cosmic history, creation myths, gods, cycles.
Right, an 11,000-year cycle, actually, from the very beginning to a modern conflict demanding this huge personal sacrifice. It's a lot.
It really is. And to unpack it, we've got, the historical records from the world, deep plot analyses, fan theories, wikis, a whole stack of material.
So our mission for you today, we're going to try and pull out the absolute core insights from this massive history. We want you to understand the real threat, the identities hidden for ages, and yeah, the incredible price paid to break a cycle that seemed unbreakable.
Let's do it. Where do we start? The absolute beginning.
Got to start at the start, right? Before anything else, there was the deity Soa.
So, yeah, described as a cosmic entity, not like a person, but a force with an incomprehensible purpose.
Incomprehensible purpose. What does that actually mean in this context?
Well, the core idea seems to be preventing stagnation.
Hmm.
So it didn't want existence to just sit there and decay. It needed cycles, renewal.
Okay, so how does a cosmic entity prevent stagnation? Gardening.
Sort of, yeah. So it planted the divine tree in the emptiness of endiness. Think of it as the engine of all life.
And this tree bore fruit.
Exactly. 108 fruits. Each one evolved into a unique species. Humans were pretty late in the game, the 107th fruit.
And the winglies, the ones with all the magic.
They were 106th, or maybe 107th too. Some sources differ slightly. But yeah, near the end. Highly advanced, magically potent.
Okay, so 106, 107. What was the last one? The 108th. Must be important.
Oh, incredibly important. The 108th fruit was different. It was the god of destruction, also called the Virage embryo.
God of destruction. That sounds, bad.
Well, yes and no. Its purpose wasn't malicious, you see. It was purely functional. Termination.
Functional termination. Like a cosmic reset button.
Exactly that. To purge the world when it matured, send everything back to the void so Soa's cycle of creation could start fresh, prevent that stagnation. It was a built-in failsafe.
But the winglies, number 106, they found out about this reset button before it got pushed.
They did. Being so magically advanced, they discovered the true nature of the 108th fruit while it was still, well, incubating.
And they weren't thrilled about being erased.
Not at all. Their entire civilization, all their achievements, wiped out. No. So they decided to intervene, an act of, frankly, incredible hubris against the divine plan.
What could they even do against a god of destruction?
They used their most powerful magic far beyond any other species. They managed to forcibly separate the god's soul, its destructive essence, from its physical body.
Whoa. Okay, they stopped the immediate apocalypse. But what happened to the pieces? You can't just split a god and expect things to be fine, right?
Absolutely not. They contained the power, but didn't destroy it. The physical body, the Virage embryo itself, was flung violently into the sky.
And it became
the moon that never sets. It's not a real moon. It's a celestial body, yeah. But it doesn't move, doesn't wax or wane. Just hangs there. A constant reminder and a potential anchor for the soul to return to.
Okay, creepy moon locked in the sky. What about the soul? The actual destructive part?
That ethereal essence. They managed to contain it within a magical artifact they created. The crystal sphere. Immense power, basically limitless magical energy.
Limitless power. I feel like this is where things go wrong.
Immediately, the Wingly leader, Melbu Frahma, saw this sphere not just as a prison, but as an infinite battery.
Uh-oh.
He seized control of it, used its power to fuel Wingly society, and established absolute Wingly dominance over all the other 100-plus species.
So the saviors instantly became tyrants.
Pretty much, yeah. Their attempt to stop one kind of apocalypse just kicked off millennia of oppression. It's quite the trade-off.
Yeah.
And it directly leads to the next major event, the Dragon campaign.
Right. This Wingly tyranny wasn't just political, it was brutal.
Oh, completely. They viewed all other species as inferior, as chattel. The sources mention forced gladiatorial combat in their capital, Cadessa, subjugated beings fighting to the death for Wingly amusement.
Cadessa, the forbidden land for anyone else.
Exactly. And their whole society was structured around floating cities designed for oppression. Zenebitos made the unjust laws. Mayfield controlled the souls of the dead, weaponizing the afterlife.
Weaponizing the afterlife, that's dark.
Deeply. And then there was Birth City, later Deningrad's Crystal Palace site, where they practiced eugenics. Only magically strong infants were allowed to live. It was total control.
So rebellion was bound to happen, even against flying cities and soul control.
It had to. The spark came from a human named Diaz, also known as Holy Imperial Gloriano. He started rallying humans, declared war at Fort Magrad, set up a base in Velweb. The Liberation Army was born.
But how do you fight flying cities and god-level magic with, you know, swords and spears?
You don't. They realized pretty quickly that standard tactics were useless. The breakthrough, the thing that leveled the playing field, was the discovery of the Dragoons.
Ah, here we go. The Dragon Campaign gets its name.
Right. They found this secret: when a dragon dies, its eye crystallizes into this single gem. If you harvest it right at that moment.
You get a Dragoon spirit.
Exactly. And a warrior who could bond with that spirit could transform, gain incredible armor, flight, powerful magic. They could tame the beast within, essentially. Finally, a force to match the Winglies.
So the war truly ignites. Humans and their allied dragons, empowered by these spirits, against the Wingly Empire.
And the Winglies doubled down. Using the crystal sphere's energy, remember that's the contained soul of the god of destruction, they started mass-producing bioweapons called Virage, custom-made monsters designed to fight dragoons.
This sounds like an absolutely epic conflict.
It was. The climax of the war involved the 7 original dragoons, legends themselves, led by Zieg Feld, the red-eyed dragoon.
And his fiancée, Rose, the Dark Dragoon. We'll be hearing a lot more about her, I suspect.
Definitely. They fought alongside Diaz's Liberation Army, took down the floating cities one by one, even the massive fortress Flanville.
Until the final battle at Cadessa.
The heart of the Wingly Empire. It was chaos. Countless Virage, even a super Virage that took the Violet Dragoon Kansas, sacrificing himself to destroy it.
And the main event, Zieg versus Melbu Frahma.
The ultimate showdown. Zieg in his red-eyed dragoon form against Melbu, drawing power from the crystal sphere and wielding the Dragon Buster.
The Dragon Buster, that sounds specific.
It is. A sword specifically forged to kill dragons and dragoons. A terrifying weapon in this context.
So Zieg faces him and wins.
He delivers the fatal blow, but in doing so, he shatters the crystal sphere.
Oh no, the container for the god of destruction's soul.
Precisely. The soul is released, Wingly tyranny is over, but the original threat is back on the table.
And Melbu, does he just die?
Not quite. In his very last moment, Melbu pulls off something insidious. He casts a powerful spell, petrifying Zieg, turning the hero into living stone.
What? Why?
Survival. But not just delaying death. Melbu embedded his entire consciousness, his essence, deep within Zieg's red-eyed dragoon spirit.
So, Melbu's mind is trapped inside the petrified Zieg's power source, waiting.
Waiting for 11,000 years.
Yeah.
Ready for a comeback. It's a horrifyingly clever move.
And the cost of this victory? Zieg, gone, turned to stone, and possessed. What about the other dragoons?
Devastating losses. Suivale, Kansas, Belzac, Shirley, Damia, Michael. All gone. Only Rose, the Dark Dragoon, survived.
Just Rose. So the humans win freedom, but the ultimate price is paid. And the original apocalypse is back in play because the soul is free. And Zieg, wow.
Right. And this is where the 11,000-year cycle kicks into its next phase, because that freed soul didn't just dissipate. It started the curse of the Moonchild.
The Moonchild. Okay, what's the curse?
The soul couldn't just rejoin its body, the moon that never sets. Not easily. So instead, it wandered. And every 108 years, it would possess a newborn human child.
Possess a child. To what end?
That child became the Moonchild. Their entire tragic purpose was to be a vessel, a guide, to eventually lead the soul back to the moon that never sets and trigger the end of the world.
That's awful. And I read that human folklore twisted this, saw them as bringers of peace.
Yeah, the soul itself had this subtle allure, this quiet power. People misinterpreted it. They were ticking time bombs, basically, counting down to annihilation.
And Rose, the only survivor who knew the truth about the soul, the moon, the whole cycle.
She inherited the most terrible burden imaginable. She knew that every 108 years, she had to find the Moonchild and eliminate them.
Kill a child every century.
And not just the child. Anyone who had close contact, who might be influenced or protect them. To prevent the apocalypse, she had to become a monster.
How could she even do that for 11,000 years? Immortality.
Exactly. Granted by a magical choker, given to her by Charles Frahma.
Melbu's sister.
The very same. Charles opposed her brother's tyranny. She wanted to preserve life, even if it meant condemning Rose to this eternal bloody duty.
So Rose becomes this figure of legend, the black monster, appearing when the moon looks red, bringing death. A necessary evil, maybe, but horrifying.
The ultimate sacrifice, hidden behind fear and myth for 11 millennia.
And Charles did more than just give Rose the choker, right? She tried to secure the moon that never sets.
Yes. With the original crystal sphere shattered, she created 4 new signet spheres. Place them in the old Wingly cities, Leningrad, Aglis, Zenibados, Mayfill. Magical anchors to keep the moon locked in the sky.
Like cosmic chains.
A good way to put it. But Melbu Frahma, even trapped in Zieg's spirit, was a planner. Thousands of years ago, he'd already created the keys to break those chains.
He anticipated this.
Seems so. He created the 3 divine moon objects. The moon gem, the moon dagger, and the moon mirror, sometimes called the demon stone, their sole purpose, to destroy Charles Signet's fears.
So you have the seals and the keys designed to break them. An 11,000-year standoff.
Exactly. And meanwhile, the original 7 Dragoon spirits, they scattered across the world, waiting, dormant, until, as the legends say, the legend needs them.
Which brings us, finally, to the modern era of the story. After 11,000 years of Rose's vigil and this cosmic Cold War, why does everything suddenly kick off now?
That's the crucial question. It's a convergence. A regional war, a personal tragedy, and, yeah, a mysterious figure with a very specific, very dangerous ancient weapon. Time for the Dragoons to wake up.
Okay, so set the scene. 11,000 years have passed. Endiness looks different, I assume.
Settled into kingdoms, yeah. But conflict remains. Our story picks up during a bitter civil war in the Kingdom of Serdio. It's the Duchy of Basel, led by King Albert, against Imperial Sandor, ruled by Emperor Duel.
And into this war steps our protagonist, Dart.
Right. A young warrior, but he's not fighting in the war initially. He's been on a personal quest for 5 years. Vengeance. The Black Monster. The being who destroyed his home village, Neat, 17 years prior. Killed his parents, or so he believes.
So Dart is hunting Rose, essentially, but doesn't know who or what she really is.
Exactly. And he carries a memento from his father, a red gem. The dormant, red-eyed Dragoon spirit.
That neat tragedy, 17 years ago. Let's unpack that because it seems critical.
It's the catalyst. Rose, as the Black Monster, attacked Neat. Why? She believed the current Moonchild vessel was born there.
Did she find the Moonchild?
She found a child, Luvia, one of 2 twins born there, and killed her, along with many villagers. Dart's parents disappeared in the chaos. His mother vanished, and his father, Zieg. Wow.
Zieg was petrified. What happened?
The prevailing theory, and what seems likely given later events, is that the chaos and magical energy of the attack somehow freed Zieg from the petrification. But Melbu Frahma's consciousness, stored in the Dragoon spirit, immediately took control of Zieg's body.
So Melbu Zieg is now walking around free since the Neat attack?
It seems that way. And the most brutal irony, Luvia wasn't the Moonchild. Her twin sister, Shana, who survived and was raised in the nearby village of Seas. She was the true vessel. Rose killed the wrong child.
Oh, that's devastating. All that guilt for mistake. And Shana's Dart's childhood friend, right?
The very same. So Dart returns to Sealis after his vengeance quest, finds it destroyed by Sandor forces in the Civil War. Shana's been captured.
By who and why?
General Frugal of Sandor. And crucially, he used the moon gem, one of Melbu's divine moon objects, on her. It's likely her latent Moonchild power drew its attention, or Frugal's order to find her.
Dart tries to rescue her.
Yeah, but he's almost killed by Frugal's dragon, Feybrand. And who saves him?
Let me guess. A mysterious traveler.
Rose. She recognizes the red-eyed Dragoon potential in Dart, knows the cycle is active again with Shana captured, and joins him. Her excuse. Just wants to change the atmosphere. But she's there to watch Dart and the Moonchild.
Okay, so the quest begins, save Shana. Dart teams up with
Levitz Lambert, a loyal knight of Basel. They head to Helena prison to rescue Shana and also King Albert, Levitz's king, who's also in prison.
And this leads to the first modern Dragoon awakening.
Yes. They confront a traitor knight, Graham, who controls the green dragon, Feybrand. The battle takes place in the dragon's nest. The intensity, the need. It awakens Dart's spirit. He transforms into the red-eyed Dragoon.
Awesome. And Lavitz.
When Graham is defeated, the Jade Dragoon spirit from Feybrand chooses Lavitz. He becomes the Jade Dragoon. 2 Dragoons, active again. The legend is back.
Things are looking up. They rescue the king.
They do at the Siege of Hoax. But their victory is short-lived. They're infiltrated. A hooded man. Lloyd. A Wingly, though they don't know it yet. He's after the divine moon objects. He manages to steal the moon gem, which was actually sealed inside King Albert for protection.
And then tragedy strikes again.
Hard. Lloyd uses that weapon we mentioned earlier, the Dragon Buster. He strikes down Levitz, who leaps in front of King Albert to save him.
No, Levitz, he just became a Dragoon.
Gone. Killed by the anti-dragon weapon. The Jade Dragoon spirit immediately transfers to King Albert. It's a brutal introduction to the stakes involved. And Rose.
Hmm.
She recognizes the Dragon Buster instantly. She knows what it means.
Lloyd escaping with the moon gem kicks off a much bigger chase, doesn't it? It's not just Sergio's civil war anymore.
Not at all. It becomes a global hunt. They realize Lloyd is collecting these ancient artifacts, and they need to stop him, which means gathering more allies, more dragoons.
Where does the chase lead first?
They pursue Emperor Duel of Sandor. After a tough fight, they defeat him. In his final moments, he reveals Lloyd's full mission: collect all 3 divine moon objects. And Duel's own violet dragoon spirit passes to Hashel, the party's martial arts master.
So 3 dragoons plus Albert. Where's Lloyd heading next?
Taibaroa. He's after the moon dagger. They encounter another wingly there, Lennis, who wields the blue sea dragoon spirit and seems obsessed with Lloyd herself.
Another wingly. Are there many left?
Very few, mostly hidden. Lennis is defeated, and her spirit goes to Meru, the quirky dancer who's been tagging along. Turns out, Meru is also a wingly, in disguise. Now she's the blue sea dragoon.
This party's getting interesting. Wingly, humans, dragoons. Okay, moon dagger secured by Lloyd. Where's the 3rd object, the moon mirror?
In Milsiso. This is where things get heavy for Shana. They discover she holds the potential for the white-silver dragoon spirit, linked to her Moonchild nature.
So the Moonchild is also a dragoon.
Or have the potential. The power is immense, but unstable. It eventually passes from her to Miranda, one of the sacred sisters of Milsiso, just before Lloyd arrives and steals the moon mirror, also called the Demon Stone, from Queen Teresa.
Lloyd has all 3 keys now. What's his next move? He seems unstoppable.
He needs one more thing, apparently. Power. He targets the divine dragon, the literal king of dragons.
The party tries to stop him.
They fight the divine dragon themselves first. An absolutely grueling battle. They barely win. And just as they do,
Lloyd shows up.
with the Dragon Buster, he strikes a dragon's corpse and just rips the divine dragon spirit right out. The most powerful spirit. He takes it for himself.
That's incredibly ruthless and powerful.
Yeah.
So Lloyd has the keys and the ultimate dragoon spirit. Where does he go?
He travels to Velweb, the old capital of the rebellion, to meet his master. The man he believes is Emperor Diaz, the hero of the Dragon campaign.
But Diaz is long dead, isn't he?
That's what history says. Lloyd believes this Diaz intends to use the objects to activate the 108th species, the god of destruction, as part of Soa's plan, a necessary reset to prevent corruption.
And the big reveal.
The man reveals himself. Not Diaz, it's Ziegfeld, Dart's father.
Zieg. But how? And why is he working with Lloyd?
Zieg explains he was freed from petrification 18 years ago during the Need attack, but his body is possessed, has been ever since. Possessed by Melbu Frahma's consciousness.
So Melbu has been pulling the strings all along, using Zieg's face and reputation.
For 17 years, manipulating Lloyd, gathering the pieces, and then the other shoe drops. Rose is forced to confess she's the black monster.
And Melbu twists the knife.
He reveals her terrible mistake. She killed Luvia, the wrong twin, in need. Shandart's friend, the girl he's protected this whole time, she is the true Moonchild.
Oh man, Dart's been traveling with the key to the apocalypse. Rose has been protecting her mortal enemy's vessel. The irony is just crushing.
Completely. And Melbu Zieg lays out the final plan.
Yeah.
Use the divine moon objects Lloyd gathered to destroy Charles' remaining signet spheres. Break the seals. Let the moon that never sets fall. Reunite the body and soul. End the world. Or rather, reshape it under his rule.
It becomes a race against time. Stop Melbu Zieg from destroying the spheres in Aglis, Zenobettos, Mayfill.
The Dragoons fight desperately. They get help from surviving winglies like Savan and Aglis who oppose Melbu. But ultimately, Melbu succeeds. The last signet sphere is destroyed.
And the moon that never sets.
Begins its final descent towards endiness. Cataclysm.
The final confrontation happens, where inside the falling moon.
Exactly. Melbu sheds Zieg's body, leaving Dart's father dying but finally free of the possession. Melbu then forcibly absorbs the Moonchild's soul from Shana
No, Shana.
and merges with the physical Virage embryo, the body within the moon. He achieves his goal. He becomes the god of destruction. 11,000 years of planning pays off.
Is there anything they can do? He's basically a god now.
Lloyd steps up, finally realizing he was just a pawn for tyranny, not some grand cosmic purpose. He confronts Melbu.
Does he stand a chance?
No. Melbu kills him easily. But Lloyd's last act is crucial. He passes the Dragon Buster, the ultimate irony, to Rose, and he passes his divine dragoon spirit, the one he stole, to Dart.
The ultimate power, now with Dart, and the weapon, with Rose.
And that's the key. Rose and the now free but dying Zieg make the final sacrifice. They combine their remaining life force, channeling it through the Dragon Buster, and strike Melbu Frahma.
Does it work? Against the god of destruction.
It does. The blow is fatal. Melbu is destroyed utterly. The world is saved. And the 11,000-year cycle is finally broken.
Huh.
But at the cost of Rose and Zieg.
Wow, what an ending. Sacrifice on top of sacrifice, freedom bought with everything.
Absolutely. But, with lore this deep, the story doesn't just end with the facts. The community, the fans, they keep digging, finding nuances, debating interpretations. That's where it gets really interesting sometimes.
Right, the layers beneath the main plot, like the translation issues. I heard the original North American version, while good, might have lost some subtleties.
That's a common point. Things described as maybe too literal or slightly strange. There are ongoing efforts to translate the original Japanese guidebook fully because it apparently contains expanded lore, deeper mechanics, things that might subtly shift understanding.
And those subtleties fuel fan theories, right? What's the biggest one?
Probably the one about the Moonchild's influence, Shana's influence.
You mean beyond just being the vessel?
Yeah. The theory is that as the vessel, she subconsciously emits this allure, or maybe even a subtle form of mind control.
To what end? Protection.
Exactly. To explain why Dart is so incredibly devoted, almost obsessively protective. Why the entire party, many with their own goals, seem to coalesce around her. And critically, why Rose, the person duty-bound to kill the Moonchild, ends up protecting her instead.
Huh. So the soul inside Shana might have been subtly manipulating everyone to ensure its own survival until it could reunite with the body.
That's the idea. It points to how Dart is often described by others as needing a push towards actual romance, suggesting the bond was more about fierce loyalty, primal protection, maybe amplified by the soul.
And Rose, how does it explain her actions?
Well, Rose herself mentions the immortality choker from Charl slowly drained her emotions over the millennia. The theory suggests this emotional numbness might have made her vulnerable to the soul's subtle, non-emotional influence when she finally encountered the true Moonchild, Shana. It bypassed her logic, perhaps.
That's a fascinating and kind of creepy interpretation. Are there strong arguments against it?
Oh, definitely. Many point out that most party members have clear, independent motivations. Rose follows Zieg's son. Levitz, then Albert, are driven by loyalty to Basil. Kongol seeks strength with Dart after duels fall. Meru wants adventure. They weren't all there just for Shana.
And the Dragoon spirits themselves.
That's the biggest counterpoint. The spirits are ancient artifacts, drawn together when the world is in peril. They might be the primary force gathering the heroes, irrespective of Shana. The legend calls them not necessarily the girl.
Okay, that makes sense too. It complicates the Chosen One narrative in an interesting way. What about the Virage? Those bioweapons. Their behavior seems odd too.
Right, they're supposed to be like cosmic white blood cells. Protect the embryo, the body and soul at all costs. Made by Winglies, loyal to the core concept.
But they sometimes attack Shana, the very vessel they should protect.
Yeah, it's contradictory. Sometimes they attack her, maybe sensing the Dragoon threat around her. Other times she seems to emit this call, drawing them to her for protection. It's schizophrenic.
Is the idea just confusion? They sense the soul, but also the enemy Dragoons, and their programming glitches?
That's one theory. System overload. But the really weird part is when Shana uses her own dormant Moonchild power, the soul's power within her, to actively repel an attacking Virage, like Eurybalus.
Wait, the soul is using its power through Shana to fight off its own programmed protectors.
Exactly. It's a paradox. The defense mechanism, the soul, has to protect its host, Shana, from its other defense mechanisms, the Virage. The ultimate destructive force is forced into self-preservation mode for its innocent human container.
That adds a whole other layer to Shana's vulnerability and importance. The thing meant to end the world has to keep its key safe from its own bodyguards.
Crazy. It really highlights the complexity woven into this world.
What an absolutely incredible journey we've mapped out here. 11,000 years. Cosmic gods, floating cities, dragonites, betrayal, sacrifice, family drama on an epic scale. The scope is just staggering when you lay it all out.
It truly is. And the ultimate takeaway, I think, is that the final victory wasn't just beating Melbu. It was defying Soa's original design. They broke the whole cycle. They chose free will, messy and costly as it was, over predetermined destruction and rebirth.
So for you listening, you've now got the deep dive, the roadmap to understanding one of the most densely layered fantasy epics out there. You see the connections, the hidden meanings, the tragic figures behind the legends.
Like Zieg, the hero possessed by the villain, and Rose, the black monster, who was arguably the greatest hero, bearing an impossible burden for millennia, only to find out her core mission was based on a tragic mistake. Consequences matter. Interpretation matters.
Melbu's plan to survive within Zieg's spirit for 11,000 years. And Rose's long, dark vigil. It really drives home the themes of time, consequence, and hidden truths.
Definitely. Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay, let's hear it.
We talked about the Dragon Buster, a wingly weapon specifically designed to kill dragons and, by extension, dragoons. It killed Lavits. But it was also the instrument used by Rose and Zieg, the original Red and Dark Dragoons, to deliver the final blow against Melbu, God of Destruction. So how did the very existence of such a targeted anti-dragoon weapon shape wingly and human strategies over those 11,000 years? And perhaps more profoundly, what did it mean for the fundamental nature, the very essence of the dragoon spirits, when that specific weapon was wielded by two of the most iconic dragoons in their ultimate act of sacrifice to save the world? Did it change the spirits themselves?